So we are at part 3 now, where we are going to actually start to write a rough draft. Now, I cannot stress enough, a rough draft is not the final essay. You go into it knowing this is not going to be that great. I'm not worried about grammar. I'm not worried about spelling. I'm just going to get the information out there so that I can see whether or not I want to make this into my final essay. At this point, I personally am going to make it to where I write the paragraph sort of underneath my outline for that section. For you guys, if you don't want to be handwriting it out on paper first and then maybe typing it, you might actually be typing the rough draft into that box at this point as well. But if you do that, if you go ahead and start typing your rough draft into the essay box, make sure that you are still keeping in mind that it's a rough draft, that it's not going to be perfect, that you're going to have to go change it, that you are not investing that emotional energy in there so that if something goes wrong, you then freak out. Like, oh my gosh, I don't like that sentence anymore. This is terrible. I suck. I'm awful. Don't do that to yourself. Go into the rough draft knowing this is just for practice. This doesn't count. I'm not going to get graded on this. They're never going to see this rough draft. This is just for me. This is just to help me do better. It's just practice. So I know that I want to make my first be about fun versus not fun. Obviously, that can't be my topic sentence. So I'm going to say, I'll write it out like this so that you guys can kind of see what it looks like sentence by sentence. So my topic sentence would be many people debate the importance of PE classes because, I don't know, because they do or don't think they're fun. That's a bad sentence and it's a rough draft. And even though my brain desperately wants to spend time trying to go back and fix that sentence because I know it's bad, I'm moving on. It doesn't matter. I'll fix it later. So my first major detail, that's up here. That's elementary school. So I'm going to say like PE starts in elementary school. And I'm going to say, my minor is going to explain games, everyday fun. I'm going to say they often play fun games like dodgeball and kickball and that it was in class every day. I don't think it is in schools anymore, but it was back then. My argument will be that it should. I'm going to move this minor over so that you can see that it is there to support that major, that it is not making a different point. Then my second major, that is going to appear in high school. So I'm going to say PE continues through middle school and into high school, but stops in 11th grade. At least it did at my school. So my minor for that is going to be boring, no participation, only basic sports. So high schoolers think it's boring and there is no participation. And say because they only play basic sports. Oh, it is. Sweet. But I still need that rebuttal. Luckily, I made the note to myself, hey, future self, make sure I include my rebuttal. And since I know my next point is going to be that fun really isn't that important, I can kind of just make my rebuttal starting to hint towards that. So I would say something like, that's because, high schoolers don't always see what's important in life. So I'm saying here, they think it's boring and they don't participate. But, what do high schoolers know? Which is then going to help lead me into my third major detail. 3, which is that fun really isn't that important. Fun isn't the most important thing in life. And then my minors for that were students take lots of classes in school that they may not use later in life. But the point is to learn life skills through education. Nope, that is also a bad sentence. Definitely going to change that later, but not for now. It's a rough draft. PE, it's not always fun, is the same because even if they don't like it, they still need to exercise for life. Throughout their life, they're going to have to do that. Ta-da! Throw a conclusion sentence on here. And if I started with, many people debate the importance of PE because they don't think it's fun. So I might say something, while having fun with exercise is important, the lessons learned from a PE class will follow people throughout their lives. Meh, not the best, but good enough. Let me add that up here, I will have had the thesis statement. I have an intro paragraph that's going to go up here. I don't ever write my introduction paragraphs until the end because I can't introduce something I don't know. So my thesis was going to be something like, students should have to take PE classes from kindergarten through high school. Never lose track of what that overall thesis is. But this is just my body paragraph 1. Bonus ranking. Topic sentence. So then what started as all this stuff up here then turned into a couple bullet points here and now has turned into a full outline. But I'm going to mark a couple of things that stand out to me so that I know when I go write the essay, I can fix it. I don't like that I'm calling it PE. Whoops. I don't want to use abbreviations. I got to make sure when I write the actual essay that I remember to call it physical education. So I got to watch for that. I want to try and think, can I think of more variety of games? Because both of these are like dodgeball, kickball. Like, there's got to be something better. So I'm going to come back. I'm going to double check that. I want to try and spend some time. Remember, is it 11th grade? Is that when we stopped? And this, think it's boring in there is no participation. I don't really like the way that's worded Going to want to come back to that. Not always seeing what's important in life, and fun isn't the most important thing. I'm repeating myself right there. I don't like that. I don't want to, when I go to write my essay, I want to make sure I don't say important right beside each other in two different sentences. And then the point is to learn life skills through education. Well, I'm repeating myself because if I'm saying they learn through education, education means learning. So that's saying the same thing. That's not explaining. I got to make sure I do a better job at that. And then, even if they don't need it, they'll need it for life. I don't like the way that's worded. I want to come back and check that out too. So at this point, I've almost got a ready to go, turn it in for the final essay paragraph. I'm going to, let's see, I'll go ahead and stop this video here. And that way you don't have to watch me go through the rest of the body paragraphs. I'll do that separately. Then I will start up a new video that shows how to take from this level to actually turning it into an essay.